and projects built on Filecoin. And so I've been getting a ton of great feedback in the Powergate users channel over on Filecoin and a little bit on our own Textile community Slack channel. I know that there's some really great teams working on some great things. So I'm here today to obviously just take any open questions people have, go over any kind of difficult things that people are running into using Powergate or using Textile buckets, and see if we can get those fixed for you. I think that I've been seeing a lot of information or a lot of questions just around general questions about error code or error messages that come back from Powergate or Lotus, and there's a lot of information now, both in that Powergate users channel, and for those of you that haven't found it yet, we've updated the documentation with an FAQ section. So if you just go to Textile or docs.textile.io and then navigate to the Powergate section, then there's an FAQ. And we'll continue to expand this. And this is actually a great place that if you if you have a question that you think is really helpful for people getting started with this stuff, let us know so we can answer it up here. But this is a really great place to go get your questions answered now on top of the Slack channel. So let me just pull up some questions in Slack right now. Slack is having a really hard time for me this morning though. Doesn't seem to load any channels very quickly. Let's see what happens here. Okay, that isn't an error that I'm familiar with exactly, that error code, but I don't know if you've already looked through the history up on Powergate user channel, because I've seen a few people asking about upgrade paths, and there's already answers for those. So it looks like also some people are on even newer versions than the version you have tagged in that question. So you might need to actually upgrade before you start Powergate. You might need to continue your upgrade flow on Lotus, because Powergate is going to be sort of dependent, and I don't think it's always going to have backwards dependency for Lotus nodes. So check what version of Powergate or what version of Lotus Powergate is pegged to currently, and you can see that in the Powergate repo in master. And then if you go to, for example, if you go to Docker and look at what the Docker compose lists, okay, so all right, so we got to look actually elsewhere. Okay, so it looks like master, the latest that we have merged in master is 0.6.1 actually, 0.6.1 support. So you might, if you're upgrading beyond that, you might actually be going into untested territory. So just that's just something to double check. Powergate is actually only configured right now up through 0.6.1. Sorry, the question that I was actually the question that I was actually answering, again, sorry, Slack, I can't navigate between channels today. Very, very slow. The question was just that the user had upgraded, it sounds like they've upgraded Lotus to 0.70, and now the issue is that the Powergate Docker won't start. And all I can say, I'm not super familiar with that upgrade process, but all I can say is that currently in master, it looks like Powergate is pegged to Lotus version 0.61. And so upgrading beyond that might not be fully tested, so you might be hitting issues. So anyway, that's all to say. Just check what Powergate master is on before you update Lotus nodes. Okay, actually, I think I see 0.69. But going beyond that, you might be getting into, yeah, untested territory. Okay. So there's a question here about on the startup of Powergate, they get the error that getting bootstrap peers, network doesn't have any configured bootstrappers. This is only one of two issues, which probably other unknown issues, but could be one of two issues, one of which I don't think is the case, which is if you updated some configuration that removed the bootstrappers or created or added bootstrappers that aren't valid. The other is just that you're on a network that where the network bootstrappers can't be discovered. So this is just a network connectivity issue, I believe. And that was all the questions today. Anyone else out there have any good questions? Any really exciting data sets to check out that people are loading into Filecoin? And then I guess the last thing support-wise today is just about this issue of the network fees going too high. I don't know the current status of that. I don't think that it's been fully resolved, but let me see if I've missed any important messages here. But if that's the case, if that's still happening, then the issue is that the miners on the network may just not accept your deals. And so if you're using a Powergate, for example, and you're blasting out 5 parallel deals, you might get 4 or 5 of them failures, which means that you're going to potentially waste bandwidth and potentially waste the time of waiting for those deals to seal. So just be aware of those issues going on. And there's some announcements about it in the miners channel specifically, and probably in the Slingshot channel as well, but I missed those. And just keep an eye on it because I know that they're trying to resolve that pretty quickly so that we can all just start blasting data into the network again. Cool. And I think that I'm not sure the status of the leaderboard. I don't actually know the process here for how quickly it's updating or if it's reading directly from the network. But it looks like some really good data sets are being loaded. Let me see here. So it looks like filedrive.io has 23 terabytes almost, which is very cool. So yeah, then I see this other question that it's hard to find nodes available to store data. Can you guys provide some nodes? Yeah, this is the issue that I mentioned before. I'm fairly certain, which is the network fees have just gone too high, which is something that they're just trying to resolve. So the solution there isn't just to put nodes up that will take those bad fees, but instead we'll get it fixed in the network. All right, I think that's all the questions. Let me just jump through Slack here again and see if I'm missing anything. Cool. Yeah, I think that's all of them. I think unless anybody else wants to jump in with new questions, maybe we can wrap early today. Okay, the question is anything worth sharing in the weekend to work, anything exciting coming up? From the textile side, anything super exciting that you should be aware of? Well, we're getting a heck of a lot better at running managed Powergate instances. So those of you that are taking part in the hosted group, we're improving that every day. And then what else is really interesting up there? Oh, we have some job listings. So definitely check out our job site if this is stuff you want to work on full time. We're hiring somebody to help with exactly that. We want somebody who has DevOps experience to help us build out the Textile hosted offering. And then we are hiring somebody for front end work. So if either of those fit anybody here, we'd love to hear from you. And you can find those if you just go to textile.io. At the very bottom, there's a careers link. And then, yeah, I don't have the music box, unfortunately. So I think that's a wrap. I think we're good. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good week.
Thanks, Andrew.